Good day everyone, this is Jandave Alvin Salgado, and for today's video, I will be sharing to you two teaching techniques coming from the book of Teach Like a Champion by Doug Lemov. I will be discussing to you the write is right and break it down technique. So first, let's start with write is right technique. The write is right technique helps kids with the cognitive development issue of acceptance. It follows with the idea of Erikson's theory of psychological development. His theory tells you the basic needs of acceptance for children at different ages and what they need to succeed. Right is right techniques help children strive to get the full correct answer in order to get your attention and recognition of them being correct. The teacher affirmed these answers by repeating them and then adding information to make the answer completely correct. The key idea behind right is right is that the teacher should set and defend a high standard of correctness by only naming right those answers which are truly and completely right. There are 4 ways to use the right is right technique. First one is the hold out for all the way. When students are close to the answer, tell them they're almost there. Well, great teachers don't confuse effort and mastery. They do use simple positive language to appreciate what students have done and to avoid them to the expectation that they will still have more to do. For example, you will say, I like what you've done, or you can say, can you get us more? Second way is to answer the question. Students learn if they don't know an answer. They can answer a different question, particularly if they relate to their own lives. Third one, right answer, right time. Sometimes students get ahead of you and provide the answer when you are asking for a step to the problem. While it may be tempting to accept this answer, if you are teaching the steps, then it is important to make sure students have mastered those steps. And fourth one, use technical vocabulary. Good teachers accept words students are already familiar with as right answers. For example, volume is the amount of space sometimes takes up. So great teachers push for precise technical vocabulary. Instead, volume is the cubic units of space an object occupies. So this approach strengthens a student's vocabulary and better prepares her or his for the future. As Lemov sums up his technique, he says that once you've become a right is right teacher, you know that the right answer to any question other than the one you asked is wrong. Instead of even using the term right, teachers could say sometimes like you're almost there, what else I am looking for, or can you dive deeper into the problem? So that is right technique. So next technique is the break it down. Break it down is a method for correcting a student's error or helping a student get the answer so that he or she can learn from the mistake and fill in the information that was missing beforehand. The technique works by guiding the students to the correct answer by providing hints in the form of examples, eliminating false choices, repeating an error back, providing a rule for the question, or providing context for the question. Anything to help the students fill in the missing pieces without giving them the answer. It emphasizes student success over failure, which keeps the students motivated because they know that mistakes happen and you will help them get to the right answer eventually. This is the way to normalize error and help students to know that making errors is normal, and the fear of making a mistake should not keep them from participating or answering questions, which will lead to a supportive classroom environment. So by helping them get to the right answer, it shows that they can do the work. Break it down occurs when a student gets a problem wrong and the teacher stops them and then goes back and breaks the problem down into smaller steps and build off of where the error occurred. Break it down is a good teaching technique to use to provide further instruction to students who may need a little extra help with dealing with a particular problem. When a child struggles with a problem, the teacher sometimes will leave that student and call on another to get the right answer. It is always important to break the problem down to the correct level that the student needs. The teacher should start by breaking it down into chunks and then seeing where the problem further lies, and then if need to break the problem down further. So champion teachers don't simply repeat the questions. They think about the part of the materials that mostly cause the confusion and ask smaller, simpler questions about this part. This can be helpful in juggling students' memory to help them recall the problem and how to do it. Another helpful break it down way is to roll back the student's answer to simply by repeating their correct answer to them. This will help students see what they did wrong in their answer and fix it. So there are some ways to break down the material. First, they provide an answer. If asking for a definition of a prime number, provide an example like 7 is 1 but 8 is not. Next, provide context. To help a student who does not understand ancient, I hope nobody ever calls me ancient. Then, provide the missing or first step. What do we always do when the numerator is larger than the denominator? So do the first step. And lastly, eliminate false choices. If it were a verb, it would be an action. Is owner an action? So eliminate the false choices. Break it down techniques utilize scaffolding. It builds up students' abilities by making small steps in the right direction. In an ideal world, the teacher provides the smallest viable cue that is the least amount of information possible to still allow the student to solve, thus causing the students to the greatest amount of cognitive work. And that would be all for the two teaching techniques. Thank you for listening. God bless you all. Bye.